microphone. For one thing, I've got B plus going right to the chip. I don't have the resistance pot. I am running both circuits off the 12-volt tap here. The white one here is going to the resistor. The red one here is coming down to my circuit. I have basically a bifilar coil here, you know, which cancels out any inductance in the wire the way it's wound. You know, just both of them are wound together. Same thing over here, so that helps eliminate any injection there. And hey, look at that. It's giving me some of that oscillation without me touching the heatsink. The interesting thing was yesterday when I would touch the heatsink, it would clean that up. So maybe it's because of how I've got the pot set. Normal operation. So there's that oscillation. And another thing I wanted to point out, let's see if we can sync on that a little better. Alright, things just all over the map, didn't it? Listen, you. Nope. No. There we go. I'm just touching stuff to see if I can get it to get into its own resonance here. Anyways, if you look at the frequency there, how on the top edge there, you can actually see that the 555 is triggering there. That's what those spikes are. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is put this into normal mode oscillation by changing the resistance on the gate pot. I'm going to increase the resistance, hopefully. And then I'm not changing well, you know what? I was going to say I'm not going to change the scope, but unfortunately I have to, because the pulse is off to the left of the screen, so I have to slide the horizontal to the right so that you can see how wide the gap is. That's all off time. I'm going to actually turn this knob down so that we can see the pulses on the screen. There's one, and the leading pulse is not triggering now. Let me see if I can get it to trigger a little bit better. Okay, so there's the gap. There's no doubt that this is re-triggering the 555. because that's where we were, and that's where we are. Now, let me go ahead and put it back in oscillation so you can see the frequency increase. Reducing the gate resistance. So you see those re-triggering across the top there? That's, let me turn off channel B. So you're only looking at channel A, which is the timer gate. That's definitely being re-triggered. Okay? Let's see, what else was I going to show you? Oh, temperature. I guess you probably want to see the temperature now that it's been running like this. Let's see, my ceiling is 85.8 degrees. My floor is 80.9 degrees. And the ambient, which is the wood on my desk, is 84.7. And looking at the backboard behind the resistor, we're at 84.4. Checking the backboard on the other end, 84.0. So now we're going to look right at the resistor and see what we get. 85.2. And the heat sink, .8. So we can see where the heat's going. You guys can reevaluate that stuff later, I guess. Interesting, we're getting a pretty big shutdown line there. You can see them. Where it comes out of aperiodic, oscillation when that happens. Okay. I also wanted to show, if possible, that's 8 minutes on here. I wanted to show the other resistor, to show you the punch through if I could. Here's that resistor. Now I'm trying to remember. I think that was the 10 ohm resistor. If I remember right. So we got that installed. We'll fire the circuit back up again. Let's see if I can get this all done before we run out of time here. If you notice on the upper trace, you'll see those two spikes there after the pulse is turned off. Obviously it's not coming from the timer because the timer just turned off. So it's coming from the gate itself through the transistor. Now I'm going to increase resistance there. That's increasing the gate resistance. Now I'm decreasing the gate resistance. And when I get to a certain point, you can see those things punch through. So that was something that I noticed. It's a very sensitive area, the resistance, capacitance and resistance evidently. Okay, decreasing, decrease, pump, see? And you can see how it's dependent on each other. They're codependent, both waveforms. Okay? Alright, that concludes this video.